Okay, think about this for a second. What if you could design like a top tier artist, build like a master engineer, and think like a brilliant strategist all at the same time? Today, we're diving into the playbook for becoming a modern polymath, someone who doesn't just master one skill, but many.
So let's just ask the big question right up front. In a world that's always pushing us to specialize, to pick one lane and stay in it, what if the real secret to innovation, and maybe a more interesting life, is to become truly great at many things?
And that's really the heart of polymathy. But here's the thing you gotta understand. This isn't about being a jack of all trades, master of none. A true polymath achieves deep, expert-level skill in different fields, all powered by a curiosity that just won't quit. And this brings us to a really, really important distinction. A generalist, they have breadth. They can adapt and move between different things pretty easily. But a polymath, they're all about depth. They're going for true expertise, not just a passing familiarity. It's the difference between knowing about a topic and deeply understanding it. And here's the best part. I mean, seriously, there has never been a better time to do this. We've got the world's knowledge right in our pockets. We can connect with anyone on the planet instantly. And of course, there's AI. Tools like ChatGPT are like having your own personal tutor, something that was pure science fiction just a handful of years ago.
All right, so where do we even start? Well, the journey begins with the most important project you will ever work on. So let's get into part one. First, you have to master yourself. And this piece of ancient wisdom, it really holds the key. Before you can even think about mastering some external skill, you have to build that internal foundation. Think about it. Your discipline, your mindset, your health, that's the bedrock for everything else you want to achieve. Step one is all about adopting a growth mindset, truly believing that your skills aren't set in stone. It means checking your ego at the door and avoiding that classic Dunning-Kruger trap. That thing where the less you know, the more you think you know. You've got to stay humble and just become a student for life.
Okay, now let's talk goals, or actually, let's not. Instead of setting these huge, scary goals, focus on building simple systems. The magic ingredient here is consistency. Just trying to get 1% better every single day creates this incredible compounding effect over time. It's all about what you do daily, not what you do once in a blue moon. All right, let's be real. We all procrastinate, but the secret to beating it, it's actually ridiculously simple. First, figure out the absolute easiest, smallest first step you could possibly take. Then, just do that one thing. That tiny action is enough to break the inertia and build momentum, which makes everything that comes after it so much easier.
So everything we've talked about so far, it really rests on these few non-negotiable pillars. Your physical and mental health, you have to guard those with your life. You have to eliminate distractions. I mean, your phone is literally engineered to sabotage your focus. And finally, don't try to do this alone. Find your people, join communities, and learn together.
Okay, so once you've got that personal foundation solid, how do you actually build expertise? Part 2 gives us the 4 clear-cut rules for achieving mastery. Think of this as your checklist for real effective practice. It's not just about putting in the hours. True mastery demands 4 things. 1, repeated attempts with feedback. 2, a predictable environment where you can see the results of your actions. 3, that feedback has to be quick. And number 4, and this is the big one, you have to deliberately practice the stuff you're bad at. I know it's not fun, but that is where all the growth happens.
Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got the rules of practice, but what does the journey actually feel like? Part 3 is all about navigating the learning path, warts and all.
See, learning isn't just one thing. It's a process, and it happens in 3 pretty distinct phases. You start with recollection, which is just basic memorization. Then you move into interpretation. This is when you can actually connect the dots and explain things in your own words. And finally, you hit application. This is the real deal, the true mark of mastery, where you can teach someone else or use what you know to solve totally new problems.
But here's a massive warning for you. Progress is not a straight line. It's more like a series of steep climbs followed by these long, flat plateaus. These stretches where you're putting in the work but don't see any obvious improvement, they're totally normal, but they're also the most dangerous part of the whole journey. And honestly, this is where almost everybody quits.
And on that plateau, we see 3 classic ways people give up. You might even recognize yourself in one of these. First, you got the dabbler. Super enthusiastic at the start, but the second it gets hard, they're gone. Then there's the obsessive, who just grinds and grinds, burns out, and quits. And finally, the hacker, who gets to good enough and just stops. Figuring out which one you tend to be is the first step to beating it. So, how do you conquer it? How do you push through when everyone else quits? Well, you have to find a mentor, someone who's been there before. You have to commit to consistent practice, even when it feels pointless. You have to learn to love the process itself, not just the end goal. And you have to see every challenge not as a wall, but as a puzzle just waiting to be solved.
All right, last part, let's get super practical. Part 4 is your toolkit for learning faster, packed with high-impact techniques you can literally start using today. Think of these as cheat codes for your brain. We're talking about things like speed reading, using active recall and spacing to make things stick, always asking why to think critically, constantly testing yourself, and most importantly, looking for those amazing connections between completely different fields. That's where real innovation happens.
And now for your secret weapon, your ultimate advantage in this day and age, AI. I cannot stress this enough. You can ask an AI to explain quantum physics like you're 5 years old. You can get it to summarize a dense book. You can have it create a quiz from your notes. I mean, it is literally like having an infinitely patient, all-knowing super tutor in your pocket 24/7.
And at the end of the day, all of this, it all boils down to one core idea. Mastery isn't some destination you just arrive at one day. It's not about being perfect. Real success and the joy that comes with it is found in the process itself. It's about falling in love with the journey of getting better. So, there you have it. You've got the map, you've got the tools, the path is laid out right in front of you. The only real question left to ask is, what journey are you going to begin?